Niramayo nirabhaso nirvikalpo hamatataha naham deho hyasadrupo jnanamityuchyate buddhi. Bhagwan says, I am devoid of all diseases, without any appearance, without any modification, and all pervading. And I am not this body, the unreal. This is called real knowledge by the wise. So from, I think, Shlok 24, Bhagwan is gradually introducing ourself to us. Mostly we think we are, a mother, a father, an industrialist, a teacher, a professional, fat, tall, thin, short, so many ideas we have about ourselves. Up till now, Bhagwan has given us 10 lakshans of our true nature. And our true nature, as you know, is Atma, not the body who we generally think we are. So in today's shlok, number 26, we are going to get 4 more lakshans, 4 more pointers about ourselves. The first one over here is Niramay. Niramay means I don't have any disease, devoid of all disease. So what is disease? Disease, or you can say dis-ease, not at ease, is an absence, you can say, of health, or an absence of well-being. And this could happen at the level of the body. This could also happen at the level of the mind. So if you look up a definition of disease, it says a disease is a condition that deteriorates the functioning of the normal functioning, you can say, that deteriorates the normal functioning of cells, of tissues, and organs. So, in other words, disease affects matter, cells, tissues, organs. These are all matter. So, it affects humans, it affects plants, it affects animals. It has a beginning, matter has a beginning, matter has an end, and in the middle, it deteriorates, it decays, and then it dies. And that is perfectly normal and natural for matter. That is the nature of matter. And therefore, a matter, anything made of matter, will have a disease where the normal functioning of it will deteriorate and end. But our true nature is not matter. Our true nature is Atma. And Atma is beyond matter. Atma is not made up of matter. It doesn't have cells. It doesn't have tissues. It doesn't have organs. What has cells, tissues, and organs is the body. And therefore, this body made of matter is not who we are. We are truly Atma. So whatever dis-ease is happening, disease, whatever disease is happening, whether it's happening at the level of the body or whether it is happening at the level of the mind, is part of the unreal, not the real identity of who we are. How can we use this particular pointer, this particular lakshan, to help us move further and further towards our highest spiritual goal? Simply, we have to remember that whatever disease is happening at the level of the body or the mind, cells, organs, tissues, is happening at the level of matter, it should be treated appropriately. Why? Because this body, which is made up of matter, is required as a vehicle for us to reach our highest spiritual goal. Without this body made of matter, body means body and mind, which is made up of matter, if we do not treat it and keep it in its ideal condition, in its optimum condition, our journey towards our spiritual goal will get hindered. Therefore, treat the disease, even though it is not of our real self, but always remember your real self is Atma. So the first Lakshan is devoid of all diseases. Then Bhagwan says, the second Lakshan is without any appearance, nir-abhas. So what is abhas? Abhas simply means appearance. And generally, it will stand for some false appearance, something we are seeing in the manifest world, something is appearing to us in the manifest world, and we think it is something, but actually it is something else. For example, we have always used this Vedantic example. In the dark, we see something on the floor and we think it is a snake. When the light comes on, we realize there was no snake at any time, even before the light and even after the light. It only was a rope. So everything that we see in the manifest world is a misconception. It's an abhas. It appears to be real, but in reality, whatever has appeared in the manifest world is unreal. It's an illusion. But Bhagwan says, it is we, Atma, I, the Atma, is without any appearance, nir-abhas. That means when we are referring to Atma, Bhagwan says it doesn't have any false appearance. It is not an illusion. In fact, you can say Atma has absolutely no appearance at all. It cannot be seen by any of the five senses. It has no appearance because it is not of matter at all. It is not perceivable at all. Then how do we know it's there? Because you can experience it when you have the direct experience, Aparoksh, Anubhuti. Now, how can I use this in my sadhana, in my journey towards finding myself nir-abhas and devoid of all diseases? Remember, whatever has an appearance, an abhas, whatever has an abhas in the manifest world is not exactly as it appears to be. It is just like the snake that we saw in the rope. And therefore, as your sadhana, don't just be content with what you are seeing on the surface as an abhas. Find the nir-abhas. Find the truth behind the false appearance, behind the facade of things that we appear to see and which we generally simply take as the truth. Nir-abhas. So, niramay, nirabhas. What else Bhagwan says in this shloka is that you and I and every living thing is nirvikalpa. Nirvikalpa means without any modification, any change. And this we already saw actually earlier in shlok number 25, where Bhagwan called it nirvikara, without any form. So let's see what has form. Let us see what has modification. We already discussed this in shlok 25. If we take the body, the physical body, it goes through 6 modifications of existence, birth, growth, maturity, decay, and death, right? But the Atma is eternal. It has not been born at any time. It is not going to die at any time. And it has no disease. It has no decay. It has no deterioration. Neither does it grow into maturity, nor does it decay and deteriorate. Therefore, what is decaying, what is changing this physical body is not who you are. You are Atma, you are not the body. What about the mind? The mental body, is that who I am? No, because the mental body also goes through so many modifications, so many feelings, different feelings, so many sentiments, so many moods, continuously changing, so many different agitations happening in the mind: Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya, Rag, Dvesh. Sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down, sometimes I'm elated, sometimes I'm depressed. All this is happening at the false level of the mental body. Atma, no moods, no modifications, no sentiments, no feelings. Then what? Sakshat. Always remaining a sakshi, a witness of all this drama which is happening at the level of the mind. Therefore, you can remember wherever there is modification, wherever there is change, wherever things are going garbad, up and down, that is not who you are. You are Atma, not the physical body, nor the mental body, and also not the intellect body. Because there also we keep changing. Sometimes we believe in one ideology. Sometimes we believe in some other notion of some other philosophy. Sometimes we are judging. The intellect is continuously judging. Therefore, this part of me is also not the real me. That is also an illusion. It is not. The wise will easily tell you, neither are you the physical body which changes, nor are you the mental body which changes, nor are you the intellect body which also keeps changing. You are Atma. That is who you are. So remember, whatever changes you are going through it, in either body, mind, or intellect, that is not your true self. Remember, go within, find your true self, and stop wasting your precious human life, getting disturbed with all these hundreds of changes that are happening at these different levels of body, mind, and intellect. You are Atma. Bhagwan is continuously introducing yourself to who you are, and you are continuously staying at the false level of body, mind, intellect. Finally, Bhagwan repeats to us, you are all pervading. Atataha. All pervading. You are complete. That you are everywhere. You are full. There is no place where you are not. The Atma knows. The Atma knows it is complete. Atma doesn't have to go anywhere to get anything, to do anything. It is already full. It is everywhere, all pervading. So when you start feeling full, when you start feeling complete, even gradually, you know that you are now going closer and closer to your true nature. So the more you identify with that oneness which is everywhere, that oneness which is within each and every one of us, or let me say, the more you identify with the oneness that is everyone, know that you are going closer and closer and closer to your highest goal, yourself, your Atma. And that is where your journey should be taking you. Bhagwan says, this is called real knowledge. not all the other knowledge which we need for sansarik, vyavaharik, getting things done in the world. That is also needed in its place. But the real knowledge is this knowledge. I am Atma. That is my true self. And who knows this? This is called real knowledge by the wise. And the wise is the one who has had the direct experience of his true nature. Mull over all this. Think about all this. Use this beautiful introduction to yourself to find yourself. And that is the true purpose of your human existence. More on this next Thursday, Aparoksh Anubhuti. Let's end today's session with a prayer.